or something stands out in your mind that you think past grand rallies that you kind of remember?
Well, I think it's what gives me chicken skin is when after we've all spoken and we all get together and hold hands, aloha, and really come together. And it's really each time it's been that moment that I just feel, okay, team, let's get to it.
You know, there's always and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, all the viewers out there, but in the past, you've always had one or two sort of like headliner that would come in. I know in the past, you know, I remember vividly Patsy Mink, you know, rest her soul, bless her heart, when she kind of rallied the troops. I remember Neil Abercrombie when he was still in Congress, rallied the troops here.
Right.
Who's going to be the one tonight?
What I really appreciate is that a number of the candidates that don't have any opposing party are here. You know, Mazie Hirono's here, Russell Ruderman's going to speak, Kai Haley, Brian Schatz. You know, we are here, our leaders that you need to hold accountable and be part of this party, and that when we walk away, it's not done for the next year. This is like opening a chapter, and it happens to be very important given the circumstances around the world and here on the planet that we act as an example to the world of what can be accomplished.
So, you know, again, for you, when you look at the Hawaii Island Democratic Party, for example, have you seen some changes in the past year? Because I know, you know, when you came back, we've had the Bernie Sanders movement in the party. Are you energized and you feel good about where the party is at, especially Hawaii County, about is moving in the right direction? What you like to see?
I do. I think for one thing that candidates are obliged to do if they want to put a D after their name is do a candidate form stating their position on the platform and resolutions. And as of today, every candidate on this island filed that report except for one. And that's a pretty good. So here it is. It's so you can see where they stand, and you may agree or disagree, but that they're willing to be transparent and be accountable for what their positions are.
Awesome. You know, Margaret, again, congratulations. I think I'm looking forward tonight. And again, for all of you watching, don't change your dial. This is Hilo. It's not raining. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Now I'm going to throw it back to Micah. Micah has a special guest. Aloha, Margaret. Thank you
Very much.
Aloha, welcome back. We are here with Phil Barnes, the former Hawaii County Democratic Party chair. Just before Margaret Willey, you were the most recent former chair.
Right.
Phil, how long you been a Democrat, and what does being a Democrat mean to you?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm 73 right now, and I was the only kid on my block that wasn't wearing an I Like Ike button in the 50s. So I guess I've been a Democrat for 65 years at least.
Wow. So how long have you been a part of the county party here on this island?
Yeah, I've been very actively involved in the county party for probably 15 years. Yeah.
Wow. And, you know, my recollection, you've served on the Grand Rally committees. You know what it takes to set one of these very large events up. What does this Grand Rally here on Hawaii Island mean to you?
Okay, well, this Grand Rally, I mean, I've been active in the party in other locations and states, and there's nothing like this Grand Rally as far as I'm concerned. Everyone that probably has a basic idea of the history of the Democrats were trying to meet in '54, and they got kicked out of different venues, and they ended up here in the bandstand. And ever since that point, it's been a time when all the people of Hawaii could come together and celebrate their candidates.
You know, I think that's amazing. I've been born and raised right here in Hilo. I've heard of the long-standing tradition of the Democratic Party's Grand Rally right here. It started back in the mid-50s, and it is going on till this very day. So someone who's been the former chair, you've been in the position where you were the leader of the party on a county level.
Right.
What does this party need to do on August 12th when the primary is said and done and we need to unite and move toward the general? What kind of advice can you give the current leaders in the party?
Okay, well, our state party has unity events, which I haven't seen in most states. I wasn't aware of them anywhere else. So all of the candidates come together the day after the election. They meet, they break bread, they have a meal together, and they vow to help one another. And so, you know, the winners and the losers try and patch up the fence, not that it's always completely done.
Right.
but people know the importance of electing Democrats to the positions in this state, and so that's a real motivation for people to come together. And I think we do it better in this state than most states.
You know, politics is definitely one topic, you know, nationwide or worldwide that a lot of people don't really like to talk about. So what made you not just become a card-carrying Democrat, but to serve in a leadership role such as the county chair? What made you step up and seek that mission to serve your county party?
Okay,
Why would you do that?
Yeah. Well, the Democratic Party nationwide is the only thing that's really standing between the common folks and the brink of oblivion as we're looking at the national scene right now. And so it was just the motivation that, you know, this party has been trying to move the country forward, you know, for a century, and we need to step up. And we need to do it. And like the Grand Rally, there's more people are voting early and absentee, that kind of thing. So does that make the Grand Rally less relevant? I wouldn't say so, because it's a celebration. We come together. You aren't necessarily going to change a lot of people's minds of who they're going to vote for tonight, but it's a chance for us all to hear one another and be family together.
You know, you see a lot of people coming in. I would say there's over a couple hundred people here already. What is one of the most special things to you about the Grand Rally? I mean, to me, having all these diverse individuals here from all political landscapes, you know, I see people who were libertarians last cycle, now they're Democrats. What is the most special thing about the Grand Rally for you?
Well, I mean, it's a chance to personally connect with people that you normally wouldn't. And I remember in early Grand Rallies, everybody couldn't wait for Dan Inouye to step up on the stage, and people were mesmerized. All the things he's done for this state. I mean, where else do you sit up? And it's like talking in your living room, and it's just a bonding that you don't get any other way.
You know, you speaking of former U.S. Senator Dan Inouye just brings up the one little peek at the history of the Democratic Party here in Hawaii. Briefly, try and tell us, how did this Grand Rally come about? How did we come to the point where we have Democratic Party Grand Rallies every 2 years?
Okay, well, Dan Inouye probably plays a key role in that,
wow.
as he came back with a lot of people out of the 100th, and war veterans who were the most decorated unit in World War II. They were very admired by everyone. They came back to the state, which had been run by Republicans forever,
right,
just because no one was allowed to vote,
yep,
except for the Big Five, more
or less.
Big
Five, exactly.
And so Dan got this groundswell of the people to come together, and actually it was the 442nd, the 100th people, they're the ones that really did it.
Okay, wow.
And so they came back after the war, they went to college, they got degrees, they got elected, and they took over the party in that year.
Fantastic. Now, if you didn't know, now you know, thanks to former Hawaiʻi County Democratic Party Chair Phil Barnes. Thank you for joining us. At this moment, we'll kick it back to Stacy Higa with another interview. Stacy?
Thank you, Micah, and thank you, Phil, for that history lesson in the old Grand Party here in Hilo, the rally. I'm honored to be sitting next to a good friend of mine, United States Senator Mazie Hirono. Welcome, Mazie.
We go back a long ways, and I go back a long ways with this rally, too. I think that a lot of people here were not even born, probably, when I started coming to these, which is a good thing, because that means that, you know, we are crossing the generational lines in support for the Democrats.
You know, Mazie, you kind of touched on it. This is a long-standing tradition
Yes,
here in
it
Hilo.
is.
And again, in your career, I know you've come here a lot. You know,
I never think of what I do as a career, you know, because what kind of a career is it that you have to run for office every 2 years and people can, you know, send you on your way? But it's something that I'm really grateful to be able to do.
It has special memories. Again, you know, what is probably one of the, I know you probably have a lot of them, but you have to pick one memory that you remember here at the Grand Rally or something. Well, what kind of stands out? What gives you a little bit of chicken skin?
Probably it's the first time I came to the Grand Rally when I was running for statewide office, Lieutenant Governor in 1994. And who knew that that would begin a tradition for me for the next 25 years. So It's one of the things that we do, and I think it brings the people together and the party together.
Was it raining here? Or
It usually does.
That's,
I think this is one of the few times that it's not raining.
That's what I said. I told people out there, don't turn your channel. We are coming to you live from Hilo. So, Maisie, besides that first time, we've always had, I remember Patsy Mink, man, she gave an impassioned speech here. I mean, she got the Democratic Party enthused and riled up.
Yes.
I remember Neil Abercrombie when he was a House rep. He was a firecracker as well. Danny Noy, he did his stuff. So, and you have been also a good speaker out here too.
I am a lot more vocal and visible these days because we have a president who really presents those challenges to all of us to stand up and express our disagreements with his priorities. And I think his priorities are not good for our state or our country. And so I do a lot of national appearances now.
I'm an avid news network, so I see you on MSNBC and CNN and all that.
Yes.
So again, that's really important. That people need to realize that. That's why we have co-equal branches of government. It's
checks
and balances, right? It's all about
really
making sure.
Really important. Yes.
And again, when you look at the people that are here assembled tonight, again, what makes it so interesting and kind of like you said, why I gave you chicken skin was you have people coming out for the first time for their races. Might be a county council seat, might be a OHA seat.
Sure.
Who knows where they might go?
Exactly.
Right?
You never know because life is very unpredictable. And I think part of what we do, those of us who run for office, is that we're risk takers and we put ourselves out there. It's one of the shared characteristics. And I remember you mentioned Patsy Mink, who was a friend, and we lost her way too soon. I think she would be very appalled with what's going on now, and she would certainly raise her voice. But I was at a high school where she and I were both speaking, and we both said one of the characteristics that those of us who run for office that we have in common is risk-taking. Because you go out there and you kind of put yourself out there, and people can take hot shots at you, but I think that we have a lot of risk takers in our party, and every year there are new people coming forward to offer their service.
Again, again, this is just the start. Like I know we always have the primary. And one thing we kind of hit upon a little bit earlier with Margaret Willey, the Hawaiʻi Island Democratic Party chair. The great thing about this party is you guys have a real contested, fiery fight on the primary, but then as soon as count the votes,
that's right,
come together.
We come together, and that is definitely more than a tradition. I think it's really our values that we fight hard, and then we have our differences, but we come together because we're Democrats, and frankly, it's the Democrats who care about the people, and that's the bottom line, I think.
So going back to, I know we're all hoping, everybody's out there, again, everybody's watching to see what's going to happen on the national, with the midterms coming up and things like that. Everything's in the eyes. Hawaii's always been a strong Democratic stronghold, right?
Well, it wasn't always us,
That's true.
After all, we did have a Republican governor for 8 years.
That's true. I remember that.
I remember that really well.
So do I. So,
but you know what? We can never take anything for granted. And frankly, the Democratic Party is a big tent. So we have a lot of Democrats. We're not all on the same page on everything. But as I said, the thing that we share, we have in common is that we really want to be of service and help people make a difference in a positive way. And we may have different ways of doing that. We may even have some ideological differences. But bottom line, we care about the people. So going back in the next few years, how many more years before you have to run again? I'm up this year, Stacy.
That's
Good grief!
6 year terms, though, right?
It goes by really fast.
Man, wow.
Yes.
So
I'm up this year.
Next highlights, or what's the most important thing that you want to work on in the next upcoming term?
I've been working on so many things, but really it is this. What I say to my staff, and forgive me for saying this, but this is what I tell my staff, is that there are people in our state, in our country, who get screwed every single second, minute, hour of the day. And if by our efforts we can decrease that number, we will be making a difference doing our jobs. So there is unfairness in our society. There is discrimination. There's racial hatred going on. We have a president who lies every single day. And so we have work to do. So when you talk about the specifics, of course I care about health care. And for our kupuna, we have to make sure that Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security remain in place, because the Republicans are going to want to take back some of those benefits. In fact, a lot of those benefits to pay for the huge tax break that they gave to the richest people and corporations in our country. That has to be paid for, and I know they're looking at Medicare and Social Security. Wherever we go, all across the country, healthcare is important. And right now, there is a lawsuit taking place in the state of Texas, which the administration, the Trump administration, has gone along with the state of Texas to challenge the Affordable Care Act's protections for people with pre-existing conditions. That's 1 out of 4 people in our country. And of course, now I am one of them. So that case is going to go to the Supreme Court, and so the person we're considering for Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh, I'm working really hard to prepare for those hearings.
Well, all I can know is Hawaii is so happy to have you. Maisie K. Hirono out there going to be fighting real hard for us.
I am just plugging away.
Yeah. You know, again, I want to thank you. I want
Thank you,
to wish you
Stacey.
the best. We look forward to your rallying the troops here tonight in the traditional way.
Thank
right?
you.
Again,
Aloha, everybody.
Aloha. Thank you, Maisie.
Aloha and thank you, Stacey. If you are just joining us, this program is sponsored and underwritten by the Hawaii County Democrats. It's the 2018 primary election grand rally, live from Mo'oheau Bandstand in downtown Hilo. Candidates and their campaigns are filing in. I see State Senator Josh Green earlier. He was here early with his campaign out sign waving. We see gubernatorial candidates, Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa, Governor David Ige and his campaign. We also see Lieutenant Governor candidates, Mayor Bernard Carvalho from Kauai with his campaign. You just heard United States Maisie K. Hirono. United States Senator Maisie K. Hirono. She is running for re-election in this 2018 primary election. Tonight, it's a grand rally that has deep, long-standing tradition here in Hawaii County. As you heard from former party chair Phil Barnes, this started back in the mid-50s. Former United States Senator Daniel K. Inouye played a pivotal role in this grand rally actually being implemented and actually carrying it on all the way here today. As I mentioned earlier, lots of campaigns are filing in. You can find this live here on Hawaii Island, Spectrum Channel 54, online at naleo.tv, and streaming via our mobile app, available on Android and Apple devices. And you can also find this on Olelo Community Media, Spectrum Channel 53, and at olelo.org. At this moment, I'll shoot it back to Stacey for another interview with a special guest. Stacey?
Aloha. Thank you again, Micah. I want to welcome another special guest, Senior Senator Brian Schatz. Aloha, Senator.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
My pleasure. Again, you know, talked to Maisie, I talked to Margaret Willie. This has so much history. What's your recollection? What's your best history of this grand rally?
I remember a couple of moments. I remember Dan Inouye. I remember Neil Abercrombie. I remember some of the tough battles that I was in when I ran for Congress unsuccessfully. And then when I ran for the Senate, and Colleen and I were in that tough race. In a lot of ways, tonight is the beginning of the process of healing. Even though the election's not over, it's a kind of commitment to our shared democratic values, knowing that, hey, 3/4 of the candidates under that bandstand, they're not going to win tomorrow. And so understanding that the reason you run is not for yourself, but for your shared values, I think is what tonight is all about.
Maisie and I were talking earlier that, you know, it's neat because the grand rally brings people who might be running for office for the very first time, running for county council, OHA, you know, and then who knows, right? I mean, when you ran for office for the first time, who would have thought that you become a United States Senator, right? I mean, we all dream for those things, but to actually make it happen, maybe someday somebody that's here could be the next Brian Schatz, right?
Well, that's kind of what I find super fun about this. You know, I'm a sports fan, and I'm always looking at, you know, who's going to be Rookie of the Year, and I'm interested right now in who's going to be that next generation of leaders, whether they come from the legislature or the county council or whatever it may be. There's always a new crop of people in the Democratic Party who want to serve, and that's what's made us strong over the years, is that there's always a new generation that wants to step up. And tonight is an opportunity for them to, you know, kind of show what they've got.
You know, I'll go out on the limb here a little bit because I honestly believe that, you know, with, you know, Senator Akaka, Senator Inouye, right, Patsy Mink, you know, the next generation. So I look at you as sort of like the first person to come in to kind of take the mantle to open the way for the next generation of leaders to kind of lead not only the country but the state of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I think, again, like what you just said, who knows in this group that's here. Is that something that you really want to see happen, that you consider that's a extra burden on your shoulders, maybe?
Yeah, I think I'm, you know, in a lot of ways I'm trying to serve as a transitional figure, you know, to retain that continuity and leadership in the congressional delegation, but also make room for new people. I mean, you got Derek Kaukami on Kauai, who I think is going to be a leader for the state of Hawaii for a long time. Bernard Carvalho, running for lieutenant governor, I think is going to be a leader for a long time. Josh Green, Jill Tokuda, Kai Kahele.
Yep.
Hilo's Kai Kahele is doing extraordinary work as the state senator here and become a good friend of mine. So that the bench is strong, and there are a lot of, and I mean this in a good way, there are a lot of ambitious young politicians who are in a position to step up when that opportunity presents itself.
So do you feel like, you know, a lot of and again, no disrespect to the old guard and things like that are out there, that, you know, they always try to kind of manipulate a little bit, wait your turn and stuff like that. Now it's sort of like, again, you know, if your time is your time and you think you can do the job, step up, right? And don't be afraid of challenging. I think that's why we have a lot of contested primaries. I think that's a good thing.
But, you know, we never were, even people think of the old days like there was total control. There was never any control in primaries. There was always, you know, Burns versus Gill and Ariyoshi versus Gill and Abercrombie versus Ige, and you can never prevent a primary, and as painful as it is, in a lot of ways it's almost like a divorce, you know, within your family because it's old friends and people you've been kind of, you know, through the fights with, and suddenly you find yourself on the other side. But, you know, that's what makes the Democratic Party an exciting place, is that you have that turnover. So part of where I'm at is, I remember when Dan Inouye was at the peak of his power, but the voters still decide, right?
That's true.
And so now we have a situation where people can run for whatever they want, and the voters still decide. I'm just glad that we're the kind of party that provides choices to people. And, you know, I fight the Republicans as hard as I can up in Washington, but it is a little sad that they have no functional political party in the state of Hawaii, because people deserve choices in the general as well.
You know, I think we have a few minutes left before we start the grand rally here. Climate in D.C. from your perspective. I mean, you know, Brian Schatz, give me a quick snapshot of what the climate is like there in D.C.
Well, it's toxic partly because of President Trump and the way he conducts himself. You know, even when we're doing good work, he often comes in and blows it up. So on the appropriations process, which is key for what I try to do for Hawaii in terms of bringing federal funds home, you know, we're moving along on a bipartisan basis with the appropriations bills, which means that we're going to get more federal funding for the state of Hawaii. It also means continuity for the country. And that's a priority of Schumer, Pelosi, of course, Mazie and myself, but also Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell. It's Trump that is so disruptive that he may blow this whole process up because he wants $25 billion for his border wall. So on the positive side, there are some moments of bipartisanship, and they're mostly manifested in terms of the spending bill. We had a big increase in Centers for Disease Control and National Institutes of Health money that'll go towards researching for a cure for Alzheimer's and cancer treatments and public health, and we did that on a bipartisan basis. So we did really good on in the last appropriation cycle, and we're on our way to doing similarly good bipartisan work. There is a non-zero chance that Donald Trump himself will blow up that just because he's angry and wants to rant about immigration for another 2 or 3 weeks.
Again, you know, Mazie and I touched on this, and I'm sure you feel the same way, that's why it's so important to have equal branches of government to kind of keep the checks and balances out there. You know, again, when things may be going off the rails a little bit, thank goodness we have a legislative body and a Supreme Court that kind of, you know, shine the light and make things a little bit straighter and easier for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was 3 weeks ago when Trump was considering actually providing Ambassador McFaul, the U.S. ambassador to Russia, to Vladimir Putin as a favor to him, and the legislative branch came up, we drafted a resolution and said basically you don't touch our Americans. And we adopted that on a unanimous basis in the United States Senate within 48 hours. So when we are needed, sometimes we're capable of stepping up. I think what has kind of surprised people and disappointed people is that, you know, even in the Nixon years, Republicans at some point went to Nixon and said, it's over.
Right.
We do not seem to see a lot of courageous Republicans who step up and say there's nothing conservative about this, there's nothing American about this, there's nothing right about what Donald Trump is doing. The most courageous Republicans are the retiring ones.
That's what I noticed. The guys who are speaking up now are the ones that are not standing for re-election or said that they're not going to be leaving office very shortly.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so again, I want to thank Senator Schatz. We're moments away from starting the Grand Rally. Again, it's a historic, old-time Grand Rally here in Hilo. Don't touch that dial because it's not raining. So, I mean, we were talking about that.
No bachi.
No bachi. So, you
I
know.
don't want to be the guy that comes from Honolulu and says, oh, it's sunny here. But it does look nice so far.
It does. It's a beautiful thing. So, again, you know, Senator, I want to, from Naleo TV, best wishes to you.
Thank
Continue
you.
the good work that you've been doing for all of us. We really appreciate it, and we wish you nothing but the best in the future.
Thank you very much. I just want to say what a great production you're putting on here. This is high-quality stuff. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you
Aloha.
very much. Matt, I guess we're getting ready to send it over to Margaret Willey, who's going to start the Grand Rally.
Welcome to the statewide Grand Rally here in Hilo, Hawaii. And for the first time, we are televised live statewide. So we are a big team, the Democrats electing our leaders to then come together and do some serious work. We have an inspiring program tonight with our candidates and some special speakers. And I would like to introduce Andy Cahaley. He is going to be our MC. And I just want to say one thank you to Shannon Matson, my East Side Vice Chair, who organized this. And thank you to the planning committee who did all of the hard work. Andy, he's a longtime Democrat. He's been working the Grand Rallies since 1984, I believe. So can I have a warm welcome for Andy Cahaley?
Thank you, Margaret. Aloha. Welcome, everyone. What a beautiful day in Hilo, huh? No rain, nice breeze, you know, so we're going to have a great night tonight. A lot of room in here, so everyone come on in. So we're going to get started. We're going to start our program off with our puli. So at this time, I'd like to welcome and mahalo Pi'ilani Ka'avaloa to come up and to the stage and give tonight's puli.
Aloha mai kākou. Before I pull it, I just want to thank all of you servant leaders out there. All of you guys are working really hard. All of you have already served our communities very well. And tomorrow, the people will choose who they want to represent them in their prospective communities. But I want to just mahalo each and every one of you folks for all of your hard work and all of your aloha that you pour out into all of our communities. E pule kako. Au hea oe e Yehova e ko mako akua. Ke akua I au aku, I au aku, I au aku. Ke akua no oe o ko mako haku aloha. O Yesu Christo. Ka mea I make ke ano ko mako mau hewa. E ia mako I muo, ke ia ahi. No ka ho'omana o ana, I ko mako mau poe, I loko o ko mako mau kaiaulu. E ia o ko, na ala kai, e koho ai, e hana nui no na poe I loko o ko kako mau kaiaulu. No laila, e ke akua mana loa, e haawi mai a la ko ka ike, ka naawau, ka makaukau. I hiki a la ko ke hana, I kala ko hana. Haawi a la ko I ke kalena, I hiki a la ko ke malama, ina poe. I loko o ko la ko mau kaiaulu. Mai Hawaiʻi a I ni'i hau. Ke ia pai aina holo o ko'a. Ame Amelika puke kahi. No laila e kamakua lani e nini mai oi I ko aloha me ko loko mai kai. Ma luna o mako pakahi hapau. Heavenly Father, I thank you for all these servant leaders. It is not an easy task to serve the diverse communities. But I ask that you give them, each candidate, each and every candidate, the knowledge, the wisdom, the patience, the understanding, that they may do their job well, that they may serve their prospective communities, that they may be compassionate to the needs of every single person that is in their community. We may all not agree on the way that things are happening, but collectively, we can work together. And that's what needs to be done. Kokua ke kahi I ke kahi. Aloha ke kahi I ke kahi. Help one another. When we alu together, when we pull together, there is not any job that we cannot accomplish. We are so talented. You have brought great minds, great talents together. Let us use these talents and these strengths wisely. So I ask you, maka inoa kamakua ke keike a me ka uhane he molele. E malama maia kako. Haawi maia kako. Ke la aloha. I hiki a kako. Ke holo mua. I ko kako pai aina o Hawaiʻi. No laila. E haliu mai oi I ko pepeau. A ho'olohe I ke ia leo pule ke waiho nei I muau. Mahalo no ke ia la. Mahalo no na mea pau au I haawi mai a kako. Makaino kamakua ke keiki a me ka uhane he molele. Mai ki au kumole a hiki ke au pau ole. Amene. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Peri. Well, at this time, folks, before we move on in our program, I just wanted to take this moment to actually ask all of our candidates to please stand and be recognized at this time. So here's all our candidates and speakers for tonight. So how's about a big hand for all of them coming in? Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise as we have Kylan Raposa, Miss Hawaii Teen USA, up on the stage to lead us in singing the national anthem, followed by Hawaii Pono'i.
Oh, say, can you see early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave. Hawaiʻi pono'i nana'i komo'i kalani ali'i ke ali'i makualani e kamehameha e na kawa e pale me ka ihe makualani e kamehameha e na kawa e pale me ka ihe. Thank you.
How's about another big hand for Kylan Raposa? Thank you, Kylan. Wasn't that beautiful? Wow. Oh boy, it's a standing room only out there. Well, you know, folks, we still have a few chairs up here in the bleachers and on the floor, so if you want to come on in and grab a seat, please do so. The rest of you, enjoy the sun out there. Well, at this time, we'd like to call on tonight's welcoming speaker. Please welcome to the podium the Mayor of County of Hawaii, Mayor Harry Kim.
Thank you. For those of you who are not from the island of Hawaii, I'm sorry for you. You know, I think more than ever, especially because what is happening nationally, we know the difference between this party and other parties. And therefore, if you know the difference, you know how grateful I am, and for so many others that are you all running, representing this country. I thank you for running. I know running is not easy for family and everybody else. I know how difficult it is. I tell you, this country, this place, this state, we need you. Hang in there for us. I wish you the very best tomorrow. I see my friend, Senator Mazie Hirono. Special to you, Senator. A very special prayers to our Senator. Thank you for all of you. Thank you for what you do. For those of you that support your candidates, thank you for your work. To candidates, thank you so much for our country. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mayor Kim. Well, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take a moment tonight to remember those who have passed since our last grand rally. So at this time, we'd like to recognize Patsy O'Toole, who was a lifetime member of the Hawaii County Democratic Party. Cliff Suji, former representative. George Yokoyama, lifetime diehard Democrat. Our beloved Senator Akaka, former United States Senator, who represented Hawaii for 36 years in Congress. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we'd also like to send a special aloha out to our fallen police officers and first responders. Thank you for that. At this time, we'd like to take this opportunity to say mahalo to all those who have supported tonight's event. Wanted to say aloha to Puna Kamali'i Flowers and Laura Clint Akasho. I was about a hand for Puna Kamali'i Flowers. Dean Au and the members from the Carpenters Union. Island Naturals, Market and Deli. Senator Russell Ruderman. Roxanne Lawson and Lenny Lidstrom. And also to our photographers tonight, Emilia Sandy and Lucy Janowski. HGA, RW, J. Kimura and HCOC. Also our Zero Waste team, Vicky Hiley and all of the volunteers helping with the Zero Waste effort tonight. Sweet Cane Cafe, Hot Yoga Hilo, David Corrigan and the Big Island Video News. We also want to extend a big mahalo to Now Leo TV, who is broadcasting our event live tonight. You know, folks, without these generous donations from all these folks and organizations, this rally would have not happened at all. How about a round of applause again for all of our supporters? Finally, we wanted to recognize our 2018 Hawaii County Democratic Party primary election Grand Rally Committee. These are the folks wearing the gray shirts. Could you please raise your hand and be recognized? How's about a big hand? All right, thank you. So before we get to our candidate speeches, we'd like to call on Senator Russell Ruderman and Representative Joy San Buenaventura to come to the stage and give us a brief update on the situation in Puna.
Aloha. So it's been a long, arduous journey since May 3rd when the Fissure 8 and all the other fissures opened up in Leilani Estates. And although Fissure 8 is no longer erupting and the lava river has crusted over, the disaster is still continuing. The lava flow is still going into the ocean. It is, however, a relief that we start seeing dark skies at night. I just met somebody in Kona. Yeah. I just met somebody in Kona who said that for the once in the past 3 months, they didn't need to stay in a clean room where everything was sealed because the fog was so bad there. Of course, it's worse in Puna. Yeah, because the people in Puna have lost their homes. The loss of homes, it's deep. The wound in our psyche is huge. You know, we used to be able to dance at night over in Kalani Honua, which is now closed. We used to be able to go swim in the bathtub warm waters in Kapoho, which we cannot be there anymore. We used to play with turtles in the tide pools, which are now dead. These are the huge loss of psyche that we've had, but we are resilient. So what's the status? That's the reason why I'm here. We are recovering. We still need you, okay? According to the Disaster Assistance Recovery Team, in the past 2 weeks, we've had a 25% drop in the evacuee shelters. according to Neighborhood Place of Puna, we've had a loss of, people have self-corrected, people have had their insurance claims paid, some of them, not all, a huge amount, not all, but from a high of 700 households that need a place to stay, it's now down to 550. I just got a commitment yesterday from DLNR Director Case that as soon as this is over, she's going to do her best to start access again in the Pahoa boat ramp, or at least find another boat ramp so that our fisheries can open up again. The people on the other side of the island don't know the loss of our beaches too. So I also got a commitment from her yesterday that as soon as this is over, she's going to try to figure out where the people can start accessing the beaches. So that's a good thing. So it's looking up. And, you know, and as you folks know, in the past week, the county has finally figured out that there's a $550 million request, which is huge, the largest in state history. And so we're going to need somebody that you folks are going to elect in the coming months, tomorrow in November, hopefully a Democrat, because the ask is huge, the need is great, and we're going to need a Democrat for it. Thank you.
Aloha, thank you, Joy. I'm Russell Ruderman, State Senator from Puna District. I want to first of all say good luck to all Democrats tomorrow, and thank you all for being involved and for running. 4 years ago, I stood here at the same event and explained our need for help in Puna because we had just gone through a hurricane and we're facing a lava threat. And, unfortunately, I'm here to ask again. You know, we have a crisis in Puna. Everybody knows about it, but I hope to just take a minute to try to give a sense of the impact on the community and the magnitude of it that might not be apparent to people outside of Puna. It's not just homes and roads that we lost. We lost homesteads, we lost people's livelihoods, we lost a lot of farms and farm production, we lost a lot of our visitor business through vacation rentals. All of these have a multiplying effect because the visitors aren't here, the farm produce isn't here. The people who used to live there lost their livelihood. So the economic impact is phenomenal. There's also, as Joy mentioned, there's a very big mental or psychological impact that's hard to explain. But there's been a loss of everything that you could call normal. Now I know normalcy is a relative term when you talk about Puna District. I understand that. But we've lost our peace of mind along with everything else. For example, you know, a sense of community and social network is recognized these days as one of the most important factors in our health. Well, we lost that. We lost our community. There's incredible stress for those living whose homes are lost or inaccessible. Some of them found places to live, but many of them are living on in a garage or on a sofa. And even those who are living in a rental, but not their home, are away from where they poured decades of their life's work into and what used to be their home. It's hard to imagine, you know, for more than 1,000 people, they just can't go home ever again. The home is gone forever. If you can imagine the 5 favorite places that you have in your life, in your neighborhood, picture those 5 places and try to imagine that 4 of them are gone. And it's not just that you're not allowed to go there. They're gone. They're gone forever. It has a profound impact on us. So we will be needing your help, and as Joy said, we'll be asking all of you folks for help. And those of you who win tomorrow, don't forget about our needs out here. I'm sorry to have to ask again, but when other neighborhoods get hit by disasters, we're going to be there for you, and we appreciate you folks being here for us. For those of you who may not win tomorrow, I thank you for running and encourage you to stay involved. It's not an easy business, and not everybody wins the first time or every time. So once again, mahalo for those of you who've traveled here. whether it's throughout the island or throughout the state. Thank you for coming to Hilo. Such a beautiful day in Hilo we have for you. Thanks for coming to the Grand Rally. Thank you for running. And for those of you supporting a candidate, thank you for being involved. Mahalo nui loa.
Thank you, Russell and Joy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome back to the podium our Hawaii County Chairwoman, Margaret Willie.
Thank you, Andy. Okay. I'm going to bring a little seriousness to this discussion. You know, these are desperate times, critical times. It's urgent times where I feel the world is depending on us, the planet is depending on us to shift the direction that we're going in. And we're here tonight, we're choosing our leaders, we're all one team. That's what we're doing, we're choosing our leaders, but then we all unite together and work on our shared mission and shared values. And just in terms of that, I bring your attention our platform, our county platform, which is incorporated into our state platform, and go on site, go on to our website, the state website, and read it. It's inspirational. Figure out what you can work on. We need to be an example here. We do have copies of it over on our Democratic table, and we are going to work on different areas of legislation and efforts. So keep in mind, tonight's the talk, but after today, after tomorrow, it's walk the walk together, hold hands, and make a big difference. So I gather all of our strength and how important it is and how we here in Hawaii can be a model to the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Margaret. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is direct from Honolulu. Had a trouble getting a taxi from the airport, but she's direct from Honolulu, representing the Democratic Party of Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a grand Hilo welcome to our state party chairwoman, Kaylee Lopez.
Aloha, everyone. I was hoping he wasn't going to bring that up. I did have trouble catching the cab here. Love all you Uber folks, but I like to stay with the cabs just because I like to make sure I get here. So, you know, one of the things that's important that we're here in Hawaii is it is the birthplace of so many things that are important to us as a people. And I think that's the most important thing to always remember is where our roots are is often where our heart is. And I think it's just wonderful that the Democratic Party really had its birthing here on this island. And I think it's wonderful that the Democratic Party every election year comes here together to celebrate that origination. The thing that we have to remember is our history. I think we often lose track because so many years go by where we lose track of all the things that the Democratic Party was so critical in making occur and change for the betterment of the people of Hawaii. There's a reason it's the strongest party in Hawaii. It's because it's made a big difference. Doesn't mean we can't improve though, so I'm happy that the party has had a new influx of new energy and ideas for the party. The key piece behind that though is that so many of you who have made Hawaii your home and have really deep roots have never lost your spirit for why we're here and why we do what we do. And that spirit and energy and love for Hawaii has to be part of everything you do. So I too, like everyone else who's come up here, thank all of you who have volunteered and worked day in and day out, and it's going to be a really difficult time and also a wonderful time to celebrate come Saturday night. No matter the outcome, you have put your effort behind the candidate that you believed would make the difference in your community. And that's all that really matters. Winning is wonderful, but being involved and working hard to make a difference, that's the real key. So thank you all for being here, but thank you mostly for the work that you've done to try to help wonderful leaders take the lead here in Hawaii. Mahalo nui for all of your assistance. Aloha nui.
Mahalo, Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for all of our speakers? You know, did I mention that we're having a zero waste event tonight? So again, we are doing a zero waste event, and we have a zero waste tent right outside the bandstand. So please make sure you take all your trash out to the tent, and they'll sort it for you. We're hoping to have no more than a handful of actual rubbish that we'll take to the dump. All right, folks, now it's time to hear from our candidates. Are you ready? Yeah. Oh, doesn't sound like it. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, everybody got their signs. Okay, I have to say, this is a great picture right here. Everyone with fans in Hilo. I've been to the rally since 1982. This is a rare sight to have fans waving in Hilo. All right. Thank you, Agua, for the beautiful weather. And let's get to our candidate speeches. So our candidates will have a limited amount of time to speak, which they are fully aware of, and we know they will honor. Our timekeepers are right here in front. Can you raise your hands? Thank you so much. So our timekeepers will be keeping our candidates on time. They have their various signs, so if you could please raise your sign. Say aloha, 1 minute. Okay, and the other sides? Please stop. Okay, so I hope all of our candidates will follow this. Oh, say aloha. Okay, and please stop. So we're hoping that all of our candidates will honor the signs that we have tonight. If they do not honor our signs, we have another option. We'll just cut their mic. Okay, so let's get on with our candidate speeches. So we are starting with the United States House and Senate candidates who will have 4 minutes each. So I'd like to call to the podium right now from U.S. House District 2, Tulsi Gabbard.
Thank you, Andy. It's very threatening. I acts like politicians go over the time limit all the time. I see you. Thank you very much, all of you, for taking the time to come here this evening. This is such a wonderful and very special tradition, and I feel privileged to be able to be a part of this. I want to say thank you to our party chair, Keali'i. Thank you very much for your words and your leadership. Thank you to County Chair Margaret Willey. I know there's a lot of hard work and many hands that comes into pulling this kind of event together. Thanks to all of our elected officials and candidates and all of the volunteers and supporters who have gathered here this evening. I feel honored and privileged to have had the opportunity to serve all of you in Washington for the last 5.5 years. It's been a challenging time for Hawaii Island. Going back to the early days when we were dealing with the dengue fever, dealing with the volcano eruption in 2014, Hurricane Iselle, the current eruption, a lot of the challenges that our agriculture farmers have had and are continuing to have. The challenges have been great, but what has been most inspiring was that through all of these, your strength and your resilience and your unity through everything has been what has brought all of us through. We're seeing challenges now on the national level and here in our state, and it is that kind of strength and resilience and unity that will get us through. We've heard a few of our speakers tonight talking about aloha and about coming together, and that we are stronger when we stand together as Democrats, as a community, as people and residents of this wonderful state, seeing how we can bring our diverse ideas and opinions focused on that mission that we all have, that mission of serving and fighting for the well-being of our people and our planet and fighting for peace. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have served you thus far and hope to be able to continue to do so. Mahalo for all your support. Aloha.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tulsi Gabbard. Now we'd like to move to the U.S. Senate. At this time, we'd like to call to the podium Maisie Hirono.
Thank you, Andy. Aloha, everybody. I have been coming to these rallies since some of you were not even born, I think, so it's great that the Democratic Party has a tradition where we not only come together like this, but coming together is our values. I've been doing this since 1994. Wow. And I'm going to keep on doing it, you know, because that's what we do. So how many of you think we're living in normal times? It is not normal when we have a president who lies every single day, who separates little children from their parents, who thinks it's okay to restrict people from certain countries from coming to our country so they can have asylum and a better life, who wants to get rid of health care that is so important to so many of us, especially our kupuna. And speaking of healthcare, you know, I want to add my aloha to all the people on this island. It's not just the people in Puna, but everybody who's come together because of the volcano. And yes, $500 million, did you say, Russell? Okay, I'm looking at Brian over there, you know, because I think some of that we're going to need to do, right, Brian? We'll be there to help you folks. But these are not normal times. And at times like this, we have to come together. And this is why, as I was being interviewed by Stacey Higa for Olelo, he asked me to think back to all the times that I've been here for this rally and really to think back and remember when Danny Inouye, Senator Inouye would be here, when Senator Akaka would be here, when Congresswoman Patsy Mink, my friend, would be here. You know, they represented among the very best of the Democratic Party. And we used to say we stand on their shoulders, but somebody said, stop standing on our shoulders, we're tired. Stand by the side. This is what we do. We stand next to each other over generations to make sure that the Democratic Party values of caring for our kupuna, caring for our environment, caring for our keiki continues, and we are going to do that. And even as we speak, you know, one of the first things when I get back to, I'm trying to see the timekeeper here. Oh, you're okay? I'm so terrific, Urana, you forget to keep track of my time, right? Okay, just kidding. One of the things that I'm going to go back for is, of course, the Supreme Court nomination hearing of Brett Kavanaugh. And I have serious concerns. You share that concern. And as I have said, he does not get our benefit of the doubt because he has been vetted by the Federalist Society and the Heritage Foundation, two very, very, very conservative organizations. And what they want to do is cut back on a woman's right to choose, probably cut back on a lot of the environmental laws. Brett Kavanaugh has a record of looking at laws like our Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and interpreting them very, very narrowly. So I have binders of stuff on Brett Kavanaugh because he is going to have a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. He will be making decisions relating to health care, on the environment, on a woman's right to choose. he will be sitting there probably adding the fifth vote in many 5-4 decisions that will impact our lives negatively. So I want to thank you folks for all that you've done to support all of us and all of the Democratic candidates, because one thing that you can know for sure, once we finish our elections, once tomorrow happens, and we all come together, we're going to continue to need your energy and your kukua and your support. Mahalo nui loa. Aloha.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maisie Hirono. Well, at this time, we'd like to invite all of our governor and lieutenant governor candidates to the stage, and please have a seat. Any chair. No fighting over the chairs now. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we're moving on to our next candidates and speeches. Moving to the governor's race. First up, for the governor's race, they will have 4 minutes each. Each of them will have 4 minutes. First up, for governor, we'd like to call to the mic, Colleen Hanabusa.
Thank you, Andy. Aloha, everyone. You know, it is truly an honor to be here, because to me, the Grand Rally represents the initial steps that we Democrats take towards the Unity Breakfast. And it is to remind us, because we are all here in this bandstand, that we are one party. I want to thank Russell and Joy, because they are on the front line of what's going on in the Puna district. I also want to thank my good friend that I see sitting back there, and that's, of course, Reverend Tamashiro and his wife Marlene of the Puna Baptist Church, that have done an amazing job with Puna Strong, really from 2014. That's where Puna Strong started. So mahalo to all of you. And for Joy and Russell, know that I'm sure no matter who gets elected, they will be standing with you for to correct what's going on in the area, so that we can see our farmers back, and we can see the economic engine that the National Park Service really served come back to par. We already see the impacts, and we have to stop it and reverse it as quickly as we can. And I know the congressional delegation will also pull together for that. I stand here thinking about how we have all come so very far. Someone reminded me the other day that in 2 years, in 2020, is when women across the nation had the right to vote. Imagine that. It's not even 100 years old yet. But think about what's going on and the women's movement and what they have represented. Think about that. If there's anything Donald Trump has done, it is to empower women. Remember, the Women's March, which happened after the inauguration on January 20th, and some banded together and called themselves J20 plus, January 20 plus. It was to say that women will no longer be held down. And think also of the movements like, for example, Me Too, and what that has represented. It is women who are saying, no, we are equal. But yet, think about it. We are not equal. We still are fighting for equal pay for equal work. Whether it's on the state legislative level or on the federal level, we are still not equal. Think also about all the different types of laws that have been passed. Maisie mentioned Patsy Mink. Think about Title IX and that wonderful piece of legislation. The reason I'm mentioning all of this is because of the fact that its genesis are all, I believe, with Democrats and the progressive women of the United States. That is also our future. Our future is with the millennials, the kapunas, and the next generation. So let us all take the time to listen. Let us all take the time to hear what their concerns are. And let us, as the party of the people of the state of Hawaii, be able to move forward and to be able to actually address all of the issues so we will all preserve the Hawaii that we love. Mahalo and aloha, everyone.
Little short. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Colleen Hanabusa. Now our next candidate for governor, Governor David Ige.
Aloha. It's great to be back in Hilo. You know, this is the historic Grand Rally, and I'm really proud once again to be back here in the grandstand to talk with all of you the eve of the most important election in many years. I just wanted to start by introducing my kids. You know, I really wanted them to be part of this historic occasion. Amy is right here in the front row, my oldest daughter, Lauren, and my son, Matthew. I brought them to Hilo because I wanted them to be part of this experience. You know, I'm proud to be your governor because we have worked with all of the state legislators, the mayor, the county council to really deliver a better Hawaii island for all of you. You know, I'm proud of the work that we've done. You know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm an engineer. And this election really is about leadership. But it's leadership that engages the community, works with stakeholders, finds solutions, and gets them implemented on your behalf. You know, let's start with the economy. When I became governor, I knew that we needed to help boost Hawaii Island's economy. So restoring international flights to Ellison, Onizuka, Kona International Airport was my #1 priority. I was proud to work with Senator Schatz and Senator Hirono to work through the red tape at the federal level so we could talk about bringing international flights back to Kona. You know, I'm proud that we were able to get it done. In December of 2016, Hawaiian Airlines started 3 times a week international flights into Kona. Now, why should you care, right? Since that, we've had record visitor arrivals and visitor spendings on Hawaii Island every year since that point. You know, visitor spending on Hawaii Island has gone up by $300 million because of those international flights into Kona. And Japan Airlines started filing daily flights from Japan to Kona in September of last year. So the economy is strong. We are moving and getting things done. I just am proud because we have been working with your legislators to make investments that matter here on Hawaii Island. We have appropriated more than $1.1 billion since I've become governor, invested in infrastructure here on the island of Hawaii. I'm proud that we were able to finish the last segment of Daniel K. Inouye Saddle Highway so that we can shorten that Costco run from Hilo to Kona by 15 minutes. Right? And just yesterday, I was in Kona with Senator Lorraine Inouye and Representative Lowen and Representative Evans to bless the Queen Kahumanu Highway Phase 2 widening project. You know, we were able to finish that project after being stuck year after year after year. So I'm glad to be here in Hilo, and I just really want to ask you for your support in this election. This is a critical election. It's really about leadership. It's about working with the community. It's about engaging and getting things done. I'm proud to be your governor because Hawaii leads the country and the world in so many different areas, in the environment, in protecting our environment, in ensuring that we can turn over a Hawaii for our children that we can be proud of. Aloha, mahalo.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Ige. Now we'd like to call up our next candidate for governor, Wendell Kaehueha.
Okay, folks, we gotta congratulate both of the candidates before me. They haven't even stink about each other today. Fabulous. Anyway, I want to get started here. My name is Wendell Kaehueha, running for governor of the state of Hawaii. And there's 6 of us on the ballot. 6 of us. There's more than 2 on the ballot. I'm the only native Hawaiian in the state of Hawaii running for governor. I graduated from Farrington High School on Oahu, came to the Big Island. I attended the University of Hawaii at Hilo, got 3 degrees. Political science, economics, and communications. I want to thank Patty Cook in Waimea. Her committee invited every single governor, lieutenant governor from both parties, Democrat Party, Republican Party, and they made us all available and welcome in Waimea. I want to thank the Democrat Party along with Margaret and her crew putting this together. This is fabulous. I also want to thank Kili. I remember Kili was the general manager of Olelo, community television on Oahu. I worked for Naleo here, and she opened arms to us and the general manager when she was the general manager on Oahu with Olelo. And I want to say, here's the story. Mayor Bernard Akana ran 0 and 14 times before he became governor. Let you guys know, I beat that record. I'm 0 and 22. I broke his record. So it's time to make things happen. And I also want to thank Rex Matsuno. When it came to the Big Island, he hired me. I was the first native Hawaiian working in his office since he took over the company in 1967. Then from there I was the auditor and I was the work for sale. Another gentleman I want to thank is our Governor George Ariyoshi. He opened up Hawaiian homes for the new bunch of Hawaiians applied. Had a whole bunch of us from Oahu came here. I got 20 acres from Mr. Ariyoshi, and at that time we had one of the best Hawaiian Homes Commissioner, Billy Beamer. And I want to say one thing too. I've been on Hawaiian Homes land 38 years. 38 years. There's a lot of problems on Hawaiian Homes, OHA, and all of them. And I want to also let you know, I built 2 radio stations on this island. Kahu AM Paneava, Kahu AM Pahala, now FM in Pahala. 2 radio stations, federal approved radio stations. And my last comment right now, since I got 1 minute left, I got 3 supporters, really great supporters that supported me from February. One is my girlfriend over there in the red hat, and I got 2 gentlemen, 2 Hawaiian gentlemen, Tutu Kani, old gentleman, and his son. Tutu Kani's name is God. His son's name is Jesus. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Aloha.
Thank you, Wendell. Kaehaeha. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how's about a round of applause for our candidates for the governor of the state of Hawaii? All right, folks, before we call up the next group of candidates, you know, most of you have been sitting for a while, some of you standing. It might be time for a little stretch and wake up that mind break that you've been sitting on. So if you can all three stand, let's all stand up, do a little stretch that arm, move those legs, rub those shoulders, or your own. No. All right? Enjoy that nice breeze coming to the building right now. Okay. All right, folks. Moving on. Our next set of candidates that we have for you tonight is our Lieutenant Governor candidates. They will have 4 minutes. Each of them will have 4 minutes. And my apologies, candidates. There's actually 2 mics up here. We have a podium mic and we have a standing mic. And just a reminder to all of our candidates, please make sure the mic is positioned close to your mouth. So we'd all love to hear your speech tonight. So moving on to our Lieutenant Governor candidates. First up, we'd like to call Josh Green.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you, committee, for putting this together as Democrats. I'm honored to be with you tonight, and I'm honored to end this campaign here in the last night here in Hilo, because this is where my family lives. This is where my extended family in Hilo lives, up on Healy Nye Street, so it feels so welcoming to be here at home. Many years ago, I came to Hilo. I was asked to come to Hilo as I served in the National Health Service Corps. I was a much younger person then, and I was a physician with the National Health Corps. And the day I arrived here at Hilo Airport, I was asked to go and serve in Ka'u, where 8,000 individuals, mostly Hawaiian and mostly Filipino, became the patients that I would care for in the coming years. And it was lessons in those days, the lessons of the Big Island, that were my adult lessons in life. Working in Ka'u, I saw extraordinary things as the doctor. I saw drugs infiltrate our society. I saw children suffer greatly. 2 children passed away almost in our care on the Big Island in Ka'u. One because a 1-year-old, was neglected. His parents were on methamphetamine, and he fell from a second-story lanai. And another child had a terrible, tragic car accident, again, when the parents weren't able to pay attention to him because of drugs. And due to the graces of God and good care from nurses, and me to a far lesser extent, we saved that baby. And in those days, I learned we had to do more. And that was at that moment I decided I wanted to serve somehow in another capacity. We've suffered earthquakes together, and you've sent me to the legislature for so many years. One earthquake, I was on call in Pahala Hospital, and I remember the building shaking, and I was in my underwear in the doorway on call, and I remember patients coming in one after another. One gentleman cut his thumb off, and we had to reattach it in the hospital, and I learned we needed more trauma care in the rural areas, that not one of us could do it, but many in a team could do it. I witnessed a woman who was a survivor of sexual assault in our ER who barely made it through. And there was no service that we could avail for her that was adequate on our Big Island, and we had to get her to Oahu. And on that day, I learned that not every Oahu hospital would deliver care to a survivor of a sexual assault, and we had to pass a law to help that woman. I learned the lessons that we have to have better access to health care, and we have to have someone to fight for single-payer health care, and I hope I'll be that person for you in the years to come. I was called one day by a woman in Ocean View who said that she knew of an older gentleman who was being abused by a son-in-law. I went up to that house at noon during the lunch hour when I knew he was away, and I looked in the window and I saw that elderly gentleman still in his bed, still in urine. And I broke through that window and carried that man out, and we took him to the hospital, and we got him care. And I learned that we had to have better senior protection for our people. And so I learned all of these lessons. I learned all of these adult lessons with you as your physician here on the Big Island. So that's the honor of my lifetime to have served in that capacity. And then in crisscrossing the state, walking door to door to over 20,000 doors in these last 12 months, I've learned that we have a homeless crisis and an opioid crisis that needs tended to. I've learned so many lessons from you on Big Island, the people on Oahu, Kauai, and Maui, that I can't even tell you how valuable it is to me to be able to stand in front of you today and humbly ask for you to allow me to serve as your Lieutenant Governor so I can take my expertise, my experiences from the Big Island, these life lessons, and humbly serve as your Lieutenant Governor. I love you all. Thank you for welcoming my family into your lives, and I hope I can be your choice tomorrow for Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Big Island.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Green. Our next candidate, I'm going to move the mic up a little bit. Our next candidate for Lieutenant Governor is Bernard Cavallo.
All right, good afternoon and aloha. I was sitting here just watching, looking out into the ocean and how beautiful, you know, this beautiful island, and how our responsibility as leaders to keep our aina and our land and our water safe, our environment. And having served as a mayor, the opportunity to serve as mayor of Kauai and Niihau for the past 10 years, and taking that experience to the next level, I really look forward to taking my administrative experience and understanding of working within our communities, asking the questions, bringing the voice of the people to the table, and making decisions based upon the people's choices and the people's hearts and souls. That's important to me. Democratic Party of Hawaii, Kili'i opened up with a great opening and tying us back to our culture and our land. I look at the Lokahi wheel that is very important. Kino, health and wellness of our people. Kino, health and wellness of our land. Kino, health and wellness of who we are as people. Very important. Kuleana, our responsibility to assure that we as leaders reach out and connect and bridge and assure that the decisions we make really truly tie into the culture so our future can flourish. Kuleana, our responsibility. The na'au, the right thing to do from the right place where you feel you know you're doing the right thing for the right people, for the right purpose is important to me and shouldn't be important to all of us. And of course, the mana, the spiritual guidance that leads us and guides us and connects us is very important to me as a leader. We need to connect all of that. And finally, of course, Ohana, family. That's what we do. That's why we do what we do for the families that we serve. And I look forward to taking my experience again into the Lieutenant Governor's office, bridging and connecting and understanding and knowing how to handle different situations, boots on the grounds, visiting people, asking questions, understanding, having to manage public works and parks and police and fire and senior centers, and all of it ties into the decisions that we have to make for the betterment of our people. And to say that our Hawaii is separated by ocean, the beautiful ocean, but we're connected by families and business and opportunities and culture and love and aloha, which we need to continue to perpetuate. Otherwise, we're going to lose it. And believe me, as the next Lieutenant Governor, I be assured that I'm going to bring that love and aloha into that office and reach out and connect to the people, and assure that every single island has a voice, and work closely with our governor, and work as a team, and understand that people know that we are working collectively for the betterment of the people, but never forgetting our culture. And that's important to me. I speak from my heart, and I understand the true needs of our people. I've walked this island, this beautiful island of Hawaii. I've gone to Molokai. I've gone to Maui, all of it. And touching and listening, we have a very diverse community, but we come from one source. There's nowhere else in this world that people are going to experience that aloha spirit. E akahai, kindness. El lokahi, unity. O olo olo, agreeable. Ha'aha'a, humility, humbleness. E ahanui, patience. Takes patience and understanding, but when the decision has to be made, let's make the decisions based on the people's voice, based on what the people are looking at, how we're reaching out. We're not doing that right now. I look forward to bringing that expertise because I've done it. I'm not perfect, but I'm sure willing to work hard. I'm out there. We're out there. You surround yourself with good people, with good hearts and souls and understanding of how to move things forward. We brought back a very, very secure grant, working closely with Senator Schatz and Senator Hirono and all of our key leaders and Tulsi and everybody working for us. $17 million grant, transforming our island into walkable, bikeable, complete streets, safe routes to school, lighted crosswalks, roundabouts, speedabouts, whatever about. And keep moving in that kind of connection. That's important. We need to go back to those plantation days and understand the connection of the people. And I bring that to the table. I'm committed. I'm ready. I'm so excited for the opportunity tomorrow. And I look forward, everybody here in the state of Hawaii, to being your next lieutenant governor for the state of Hawaii. So when you get into the voting booth, think big. Aloha.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bernard Cavallo. All right. Our next candidate for Lieutenant Governor, Kim Koko Iwamoto.
Thank you very much for your very warm welcome. So my name is Kim Koko Iwamoto. I am a Democratic Socialist running for Lieutenant Governor. Like many, many people in this space here today and across the state and across the United States, I was one of those in 2016 to be so excited by the possibility of Bernie Sanders turning the status quo on its head, challenging the establishment that has kept corporations in power. We've had a tale of two Hawaiis, right? We know of the hardship that families are having, but in fact, there's also an incredible abundance happening when we look at all of the luxury condos being built in Honolulu and all the private estates created around our shorelines across the state. There are, we have properties being sold to the world's wealthiest 1%, while we look around ourselves and we see local families sleeping in parks and on our sidewalks. That is injustice. What we need is radical change, and I'm really sorry to say that it's a radical idea to hold corporations accountable to paying their fair share of taxes. Hawaii, as you may already know, charges corporations the lowest corporate tax rate in the nation. Lower than Alabama, lower than every single Republican-controlled state in the United States. What is wrong with our lawmakers that let these corporations get away with that, right? And when we talk about aloha for our communities, when we talk about extending a hand to the people of Hawaii who are displaced by the lava flow or the floods in Kauai, that takes money, right? Somebody has to pay for that, but not somebody, but some corporations need to pay their fair share. Also keep in mind that 27% of all privately held land in Hawaii is owned by corporations or individuals who don't even live in Hawaii, right? We need to make sure that they are paying their fair share of taxes as well. I just want to share one thought. During the super debate, many people mentioned that they were really pleased with my very clear answer to the question of would I send the National Guard in to address the protesters on Mauna Kea, and I was really clear in saying no. And the reason why is, I want you to think about this. I stand in solidarity with the Aina protectors, and for this reason, Mauna Kea is a conservation district. On Oahu, when the families of Manoa Valley protested HECO putting electrical power lines over their ridges, the community came out and stood in solidarity with them, with all of these families opposing that development, right? The development of the electrical company putting these power lines over their ridges, right? And no one called them anti-energy. No one said that they were anti-electricity. But suddenly we have Kanaka Maoli on Mauna Kea trying to protect the Aina, and suddenly people are calling them anti-science. And I just want to say really clearly that that is racist. I know that there are many, many volunteers. There are many people here who've been volunteering on campaigns, local campaigns, statewide campaigns, and thank you so much. I know I'm one of those people who feel so frustrated that a huge cruise ship, a luxury liner, can come in and disrupt all of that with their $45 million war chest that they might put into a super PAC, right? They put $1 million or $3 million into a super PAC, and suddenly it makes our volunteer time feel so minuscule. I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers who are working on campaigns. Thank you so much for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Koku Iwamoro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our last candidate for Lieutenant Governor, we'd like to call to the podium Jill Tokuda.
Thank you very much. Aloha, everyone. Well, I agree. This is an absolutely stunning and distracting view to behold, but especially because, you know, after over a year of campaigning and we've got cars driving past us, I've been totally holding back the urge to start waving incessantly at the cars here and hoping for a beep. I think I actually heard a beep from one of the cars as somebody passed by. Because as you know, we have at this point less than a day, really. See, I told you. There you go, right? This battle is not yet over. And as you know, even after tomorrow night, the journey is still on for many of us. And even for those who don't make it past the primary, our hearts are still in it. And I think it's absolutely fitting, and we know this from history, that we are in this bandstand. Because look around, all of you. You're in teal shirts and red shirts and white shirts and blue shirts and green shirts, and I have orange shirts somewhere. I know you're out there. You're in all color shirts and green shirts, and why? Why? Because we come together here in Hilo, the birthplace of democracy, wearing everyone's shirts, because for at least this time here, we drop our signs, well, we hold them, honestly. We wear our shirts, and we say we are Democrats first and foremost. And yes, when we go into that ballot box and when we stand on the roads, we are campaigning for our candidate. But we get it, that it's much bigger than any one of us, much bigger than any one of our teams. We come together to fight a bigger battle, a battle that Maisie was talking about, that's outside of our doors, for values and principles and philosophies that we know that we have fought for decades, for people out there that are depending on us. And that's why we come here, to a place with literally no walls, because it cannot contain the unity that we have amongst each other. And who do we have to thank for that? Every single one of you. So today, I want to spend time just thanking you. Because for over a year, we have been out there, filling out questionnaires, sitting on forums, on little stools, in the rain, in the sun and the wind. You saw that super debate too. We were trying to keep our hair together, and I think the governor guys were in the rain too. We have talked about issues and debated and yelled, put commercials on televisions. We've been on the side of the roads, but today, I just want to thank all of you for picking up signs, for walking on doors, for picking up phones and making calls, for keeping our democracy and our party alive, for Naleo, for making sure that we are across this state getting this information out, because that is so important for our democracy, because tomorrow we need to get them out to vote, right? Let me hear you. Let me hear you. They need to hear you out there, because it's absolutely unacceptable to me that they're telling us that those voter turnouts are lower than we've ever seen them. So let us make sure that for every single one of us out there, for every campaign, for more importantly, for all the hard work you have put in there, that we get them to the polls, because we know that it's not just about Saturday, August 11th. It's the day after it, every day after that, for everything that we believe in. That's why we're fighting. That's why we work so hard. So thank you for letting me be a part of this moment with all of you. And let's get out there and let's work hard. Mahalo, and let's make this a great day. Take care.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jill Takuda. How's about another hand for our Lieutenant Governor candidates? Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we have a special guest speaker for all of you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a grand Hilo welcome to your United States Senator, Brian Schatz.
Aloha! Thank you so much for having me. In case I'm causing any confusion, I'm not actually up for election for another 4 years. And so I'm especially glad to be here for that reason. They gave me 5 minutes. I'm going to try to take 4. I want to talk about 4 reasons that I see the Democratic Party of Hawaii as being stronger than ever. And the first reason, and it's been talked about, but it's worth repeating, it's the people who do the work. I mean, I talked to my Republican colleagues in the United States Senate, and they don't have volunteers in their campaigns. They have paid operatives in their campaigns. They couldn't put together an event like this if they tried. And so it's the people on the outside. It's the people without a lay on. It's the people who cook the food. It's the people who organize the chairs. It's the people who do the PA system. It's the people who promoted this grand rally that make the Democratic Party strong. So can we thank our volunteers? And why do they do it? You know, the candidates like to think that the reason that every volunteer is so passionate is because of their great candidacy. But the truth is, it's our shared values. It's a commitment to justice, and equal justice under the law. It's a commitment to taking care of our natural environment. It's a commitment to economic fairness and opportunity for everybody. It's a commitment to the rule of law. And what strikes me about the last couple of years during the Trump era is that when we talk about the rule of law, or when we talk about civil justice, or we talk about institutions being frayed, it's no longer a theoretical conversation. We know exactly what we're fighting for and what we are fighting about. And that is one of the reasons that the Democratic Party across the country, the progressive movement across the country, is stronger than ever, is because we know exactly what we are fighting for, and we know exactly who we are fighting against. So, and it is, now the third reason the Democratic Party is strong is the candidates. And it's the winners, yes, it is the winners, it's also the losers. And we've talked about this a little bit tonight, but it's so important on Sunday morning and then Sunday afternoon, and we're going to go to every island and have a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner to basically, primaries are like divorces, right? I mean, it's the most awful thing. It's really a fight within the family. And so it gets deeply emotional. There are scarred feelings. You wonder whether you did it right, both at the operational level, but also you wonder whether you conducted yourself right. And so one of the things that's so important is that we raise up the people who are not successful in this coming campaign, is that we help those who didn't make it, that we appreciate their leadership and their service as much as the people who got the most votes. And the fourth reason the Democratic Party is strong is our collective commitment to unity. Now, I just want to say one final thank you to all of you. It is a little bit challenging to serve in the United States Senate during the Trump era. There's no doubt about it. But every time I come home, and every time I see all of you, and I see so many familiar faces, and at this point, so many true friends, every time I see you, every time I talk to you, I am reminded of why I do this. I am reminded of why we all do what we do. I am reminded of our collective humanity. And I go back and I get on that red-eye plane, and I am fired up to fight for our collective values. And so I want to thank you for what you do. But what's so great about the Democratic Party is that it's not just that you energize me, but that we energize each other. That every time we talk, and I just had a conversation with someone who said, you know, I'm scared. I'm scared for the country. And every time we see each other, I want you to think about giving that other Democrat, that other progressive, that other citizen who's scared, some hope, some belief that we can do better, that it may get worse before it gets better, but it is going to get better because we're going to win in the end. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to say hello, to say thank you, and thank you for everything you do. This is the center of the political universe, always in this bandstand in Hilo Town the night before the election. Aloha, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. Senator Brian Schatz. Thank you, Senator. Wow, what an inspiring speech. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get back to our candidate speeches. At this time, we'd like to call all of our state House candidates up to the stage. So if you could please come on up to the stage. Our state House candidates will all have 2 minutes for their speech. So we can have all the candidates up on the stage. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take this time to, again, thank some of our special guests supporting our program tonight. We'd like to thank Mr. Darrell Lee from Hawaiʻi News Now, Dave Corrigan from Big Island Video News, and of course, Now Lil TV for broadcasting live tonight from beautiful Hilo, Hawaii. All right, well, it looks like we have all of our House candidates up on the stage. So ladies and gentlemen, starting off with District 1. For House District 1, can we call Mark Nakashima?
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow candidates, aloha. You know, it has been an honor to be your voice in the House of Representatives for the past 10 years. With your support, we have increased the minimum wage, expanded health care on the Big Island, and also put in place a comprehensive housing plan. As an educator, you must study the issue fully in order to understand the problems and to formulate good solutions. The quick and easy solution often just looks at usually just deals with the resolution of the symptoms and not getting to the root of the problem. However, together with your support, I will continue to work with you to create a Hawaii that is better than we found it. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Island roots, Big Island values, and I humbly ask for your precious vote. Mahalo. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Nakashima. Next from House District 1, Kuhan Pakmander.
Thank you. What a beautiful evening this is. This evening is a night of mana wahine. Check out all these new female challengers. You know, in all my life on this planet, I have never seen so many candidates of the female persuasion running for office at every level of government. Yes, yes, from Pussy Hat to State House to Senate. You know, if you think about it, a woman's body is pre-capitalist, right? Because it gives life
freely without charging anyone anything. And I think the reason we're seeing this legion of female candidates is because we all, male and female, have this collective longing to get back to the original values. What is pono? How to malama each other? What is malama pono? I think we all know that medical care is a basic human right, and capitalism should not get in the way of it. We all know that every human being deserves a roof over his head. We all carry that dignity, and we all know that no job is worth desecrating our aquifers like Huhonua is planning to do this year by putting contamination into our aquifers, irreversibly contaminating. You know, they also are cutting down forests right now to burn eucalyptus logs that actually is a specimen that makes a perfect log cabin to house our homeless. You know, we have what we need here. We don't need to burn trees to make greenhouse gases. We need to build those trees to make log cabins for the homeless. So please vote for Malama Pono tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kuhan Pakmender. Now moving on to District 2, House District 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium, Terry Napiahi.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Terry Napiahi, and I am from here. You are sitting in my home, where my family has been here for hundreds of years. And during the 1800s, many of our Hawaiian families were put in a place called Keaukaha. In 1920, our Hawaiian homes, families, were put there. I don't know how many of you know what it was like to be living next to a sewage pipe that emitted constant low levels of hydrogen sulfide, only a few feet away from my families. Many of you don't know what it's like to live next to an airport where touch and go is only a few feet away from my families. I'm here to represent the underrepresented Native Hawaiian population, those that live in this community that have endured excessive exposures to pollution, to industrial facilities. I'm here to be able to make a difference for the families that have been impacted. The buck stops here. It stops here. Our families in this district phenomenally increased a vote at least 4,000. And I am excited and ready for tomorrow. Mahalo nui loa. I'll see you at the polls.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Napiahi. And from House District 2, Chris Todd.
Aloha. I stand here nearly 10 years to the day after I gave my first ever political speech. I was a 20-year-old student at UH Hilo, and for some reason, I'd been selected to represent Barack Obama at a candidate forum. I stood at the podium, I spoke ambitiously, and I electrified a crowd full of at least 12 people. Little did I know that nearly 8 years later, the President of the United States would have been the host of The Apprentice. In all seriousness, I think for a lot of people in my generation, 2016 was a wake-up call. It was a clear sign that progress is not linear, and it does not come easily. It requires a fight. The week after the election, I felt a deep, burning passion inside me to do everything I could to build a better future right here in my hometown. I wanted to take the time to thank you all for being here today, but beyond that, I wanted to thank you all for helping to restore much of the faith and the hope that I had lost in 2016. Together, we marched for women, we marched for science and for our children. We have so much more work to do, not only to resist the Trump administration, but to do everything we can locally to restore progressive values within our state. That means providing affordable housing, a living wage, and schools that we can all be proud of. For all that has changed since I gave my first speech 10 years ago, much has stayed the same. So I will finish tonight with the same words I used in 2008. Yes, we can, and yes, we will. Mahalo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Todd. Now moving to House District 3. House District 3. We'd like to call to the podium Wayne Whiting.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Raina Whiting. I'm a kindergarten teacher. I'm a family farmer. I'm a Democrat, and I'm a candidate for State House. When we started this campaign, we believe that when ordinary people do extraordinary things, we can make a big difference. Our campaign is a people-powered campaign. We knocked on 3,000 doors. We called 4,000 phone numbers, and we sent thousands of handwritten letters. We raised $20,000 in donations from individual people, not corporations. Across the nation, we're seeing more and more of the community approach to campaigning. Our campaign's approach to truly being aligned to the values of the community, because we walked the neighborhoods and we talked to the people. The old school approach, where you buy some radio ads and newspaper ads and pay someone to place your banners, is no longer going to win elections. The approach of ignoring questionnaires, like the Democratic Party questionnaire. There's one candidate in here that did not submit that one. You can guess who it is. It's my opponent. Dodging debates and failing to hold community meetings isn't going to win elections anymore. What makes a Democrat? If it's putting a D next to your name on the ballot, you can expect to keep losing to people like Trump. If it's living and breathing and working hard for the issues that true Democrats in our communities stand for, like a livable wage, environmental protections, healthcare for all, education for all, and fair elections, then you can expect to win and win big. I'm a fan of the latter. Tomorrow, vote for the true Democrats. I'm Raina Whiting. Vote for me tomorrow. I have a few seconds. Thank you to my partner, my campaign manager, Anne Marie, Amy, Liz, my dad, Eva, and Josh. All of my team here, community, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raina Whiting. From House District 3, Richard Onishi.
Aloha! It has been an honor and a privilege for me to have served in the State House of Representatives representing District 3. I've been born and raised in Hilo on this island for over 60 years. I went through our public school system, which I'm very proud of. I've graduated from the University of Hawaii in Hilo, worked in this community, served on many nonprofit organizations, worked in our schools to help better education, and had the blessing, when I decided to run 6 years ago, the support of the people in District 3. Legislating is the ability to bring people together and to solve problems. I believe that if you look at my record, that's what I've done over the past 6 years. I want to continue to serve the people of District 3, the island of Hawaii, and the state of Hawaii. Please don't forget to go out and vote, and please vote for Richard Onishi. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Onishi. At this time, we'd like to recognize the candidate from House District 4, Joy San Buenaventura. Also, ladies and gentlemen, from House District 5, Nicole Lowen. Oh, sorry, 6. House District 6. Yeah, she's giving me I thought she was giving me the thumbs up, but it's actually House District 6. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to House District 7. We'd like to call to the podium Cindy Evans.
Aloha. Aloha. First of all, I want to thank you all for showing up tonight, and also thank everybody that's watching tonight. And I represent currently North Kona, South Kohala, and North Kohala. So for all those that are watching from the north end of the island, thank you so much. Keep country, country. Keep Hawaii, Hawaii. Keep our oceans healthy and safe when we're swimming, that we know they're healthy. Make sure our water is there. Water is life. Make sure we're growing local food. Support our farmers. Reform education, but doing it by supporting getting our classrooms right, getting our teachers the salary they need, making sure the working class families can afford their houses, to stop this raising cost of living where people are making the hard choices. Respecting our kapuna, taking care of them. These are issues that have been brought to me. And I want you to know that as a legislator, I know that we can do things because of all of us collectively together can make a difference. I'm Cindy Evans, and I have a very, very strong passion for the future of our island and all of you. And together, I think we can make a difference. I have an open door policy. You can call me anytime. We work collectively on decisions. With the time I have remaining, I want to thank all the people that have endorsed me. I've had endorsements from the Carpenters Union, from the Japanese Chamber of Commerce, from the Hawaii Island Contractors Association, the operating engineers, and many individuals have gone out and endorsed me publicly, and I want to thank them. I want to thank all the people that have sign waived. I want to thank the people that have invited me to their homes. I want all the special groups like Sierra Club, HSTA, everyone who's asked my opinion on what's going on and telling me what they want. And I want you to know I listen and I will work very hard for you. Please vote me back. Cindy Evans.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cindy Evans. And our last candidate from House District 7, David Tarnas.
Aloha. Tonight I have two things I want to say. I've got 2 minutes. I want to say two main things. One, I am running for election because I am grateful. And I am running for election because I want to serve. So those are the two main things I want to point out tonight. I am grateful to my family, to my community, for supporting me in my bid for election to office. I am grateful to all my volunteers and campaign committee and contributors and folks who have endorsed me, folks who have helped me through this campaign for the last 3 years to run for this office. I am very grateful. I am grateful to this community. It's a wonderful community. It has been a great place to raise a family. My wife and I have 2 children who are grown up. They're now pursuing their dreams because they grew up in Hawaii. That's why they have the confidence to pursue their dreams. It's because they grew up in this community. So I am grateful to this community. And it is because of that gratitude that I wish to serve. I'm running for office so that I can bring my skills as a former legislator, as a father, as a person who's run my own small business the last 20 years, as an environmental planner who has made a profession of bringing together people to solve tough problems. And I do that by building consensus, working with stakeholders so we figure out a solution we can all agree to. Figure out a solution that together we can advocate and get passed. That's the kind of approach that I would bring to the legislature. Common sense, consensus building, collaboration. I think the legislature would benefit by having me there. I am asking for your vote tomorrow, the primary election, David Tarnas, State House of Representatives, District 7. Mahalo for your support. Thank you for all of your work. As Democrats, tomorrow, let's make it a big day. Mahalo. Aloha.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, halo zabada. Big round of applause for all of our House candidates. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to our State Senate candidates, who will also have 2 minutes. District 1, Senate District 1. We'd like to recognize Senator Kai Kahele. Moving on to District 3, we'd like to recognize candidate Drew Kanuha. And moving on to District 4, we'd like to call to the podium Lorraine Rodero Inouye.
Aloha. Good evening, and I'm so grateful to be part of tonight's historic gathering for the Hawaii Democratic Party and Hawaii Island. Thank you all for being here. As most of you know, I was born just a few miles away in the plantation camp of Wainaku, and you really could not grow up in a plantation community and not become a Democrat. I think it was in the water. From small kid time, you learned about diversity, respect, tolerance, taking care of each other, and the land. These are the core values of the Democratic Party. And I'm proud to say that because of these core values, I have been a Democrat from the beginning. Tonight, as I think back, and it was mentioned earlier, through the years of participating in grand rallies, I get chicken skin to have shared this platform with such revered Democrats as Jack Burns, Dan Inouye, Dan Akaka, Patsy Mink, Spark Matsunaga, Maisie Hirono, and so glad you are here with us tonight, John Waihe'e, and Ben Cayetano, and so many more. They say that each of us stands on the shoulders and side by side of our forefathers, our own family, and those who have influenced us. And I do feel the wisdom of these leaders helping me make the best decisions for my constituents. The past 4 years as senator has been incredibly challenging and exciting. We have made progress, some baby steps, some huge progressive ones. And I am deeply grateful to my legislative and administration colleagues for their support. I thank my family and staff, and especially all of you who have supported my election. Mahalo to all of you and for your trust to Senate District 4, that's all of North Hawaii. I humbly ask for your vote. God bless and good night.
Thank you, Lorraine Inouye, ladies and gentlemen. From Senate District 4, Heather Kimbo.
Aloha. It's so wonderful to see all these smiling faces out here. I want to thank the Democratic Party for hosting tonight. I know it was a lot to take on after having hosted the state convention here. And I also want to thank all of you for being here tonight. I know a lot of you are volunteers on various campaigns. And let me just say, as a candidate, you cannot run for office without your volunteers. You can't run for office without a team. So thank you, no matter who you are supporting tonight, thank you for all the time and energy that you put towards your candidates. Mahalo. I am, of course, going to ask for you to vote for me tonight for Senate District 4, but I have a bigger ask. This is my mother's absentee ballot. This ballot is not going to go to the Office of Elections because, sadly, my mother passed away before it even arrived in the mail. But if you saw the headlines today in Civil Beat, you'll know that we're expected again to have a ridiculously low voter turnout. So my second ask for you tonight is take a friend to the polls. For the first time this year, we have same-day voter registration. So call your neighbor and say, hey, have you voted? And if they say no, you knock on the door and say, grab your driver's license, let's go. Because this right to vote was hard fought with blood and bodies, and it's a right that we must maintain. So go out there, because when the people get to the polls, the power goes to the people, and that's how we build a brighter future for Hawaii. Aloha.
Ladies and gentlemen, Heather Kimbo. How's about a round of applause for our state Senate candidates? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're all doing really good out there, hanging in there. We're almost there. So we just need everyone to just hang in a little more. At this time, we'd like to call up to the stage our OHA and County Council candidates. Please make your way to the stage. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I shared with you, but tonight we are hosting a zero waste event. So we'd like everyone to please help us in being a zero waste event by contributing to our zero waste tent, which is located directly outside of the bandstand. And please take all of your trash to the tent, and they'll help you sort out all of your trash. Again, we wanted to extend a big mahalo to Now Leo TV, who is broadcasting live tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on with our candidate speeches. So from the office of OHA, we have Alvin Akina. Okay, moving on, Pohai Ryan. And our last candidate for OHA, Leigh Sharash Davis. All right, how's about a hand for our OHA candidates? All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our Hawaii County Council candidates. Each of them will have 2 minutes. So starting off with County Council District 1, Valerie Poindexter.
Aloha, and I'd like to first thank the Democratic Party of Hawaii for keeping this tradition here in Hilo. I'd like to take this opportunity to share a little bit of history and why I am proud to be a Democrat. And it was the first half of the 20th century, the Republicans had a comfortable control of Hawaii. And this is where a local movement took place, and it was called the Blue Revolution. And that Blue Revolution, it was because of the men in blue. You see our police officers out here. John A. Burns was a police officer in Honolulu. And he saw and he witnessed how our laborers, our Japanese American, our Filipino Americans, fought for fair wages and labor practices with the ILWU movement behind them, and that there was no equality in government. So he started going grassroots movement and going and getting the Filipino Americans and the Japanese Americans on board to vote Democrat. And at the end of World War II, he also rallied up some of the veterans, and one of those veterans became our senator, Senator Inoue. So that changed the tide, and Governor, of course, he became Governor Burns. And that was the first time in Democratic history that we had that overwhelming support for Democrats. And at the legislature as well, we had the majority. So I'd like to thank all of those who came before us to bring us to where we are today as a party, for equality and to fight for that fair wages and labor practices for our people. Our Democrats fight for the underdog and fight for those who don't have a voice. I am so proud to be a Democrat. I am so proud to be representing District 1. Aloha.
Thank you, Valerie Poindexter. Also from County Council District 1, Abraham Serz.
Good evening. My name is Abul Qasim Abraham Sadiq. I was born in Iran in 1940. I've been here 40 years of my adult life. Exactly 50 years ago, I received my bachelor's degree in political science from University of Texas in Austin. I have 4 children and 6 grandchildren, but I'm going to end it there. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. All of us, first and foremost, are citizens of this planet. Secondly, every inch of this planet is sacred. I am dreaming of a day where I can get up and say, okay, for God's sake, we finally have a TMT to be able to look at the depth of the universe, and also in a county that is unique because it's taller than any mountain in the world being built by fire from the bottom of this ocean. But we are in danger. I am committed to District 1, of course, if I get there. But a tsunami that can destroy our country, an earthquake of Richter scale 9 that is might destroy our country, is that we are spending $700,000 million for our budget. That is 3 times more than Russia and China combined. Russia, this is from Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. China is spending about 228. Ours is 700. Believe you me, Russia's is now less than Saudi Arabia, which this president went there and signed $100 billion. And when we say billion, that's 1,000 million dollars with the worst possible government on this planet. So, and then today this is in Star Advertiser, a new space force.
Thank you, Abraham Serz. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to County Council District 2, Mr. William Halverson.
Thank you. This is my third time here, or coming here. I'm not a politician. I'm an entrepreneur, and I see a gold mine up north. I would like to achieve 3,000 acres plus land, and achieve it for a 99-year lease to Hilo High School's economics development class, and work with that land in various directions. One, build a swap meet, but eventually my goal is to build a Super Bowl, a football stadium. And I've been going over the maps and the areas for a long time, and I found two perfect places. I think that holding concerts would pay for the building of the football fields. I guess I'm done. Thank you very much. And thank you, Ian.
Ladies and gentlemen, William Halverson. Moving on to County Council District 4, Ashley Korkowitz.
Aloha! It's exciting to be here and to be part of this grand tradition here on Hawaii Island. Congrats to all the candidates, your families, your supporters for all of your hard work. Mahalo to all the volunteers. We are almost there. Mokuo Keawe is my home. I was born and raised here. My partner, Kawe Nakanelua, and I, we are raising our 2 children in Puna. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running, to give our children, our community, the bright future we all deserve. Now more than ever, Puna needs effective leadership. We need aloha-driven politics. We need somebody who can build bridges and work with the community to solve our most pressing issues in an inclusive way. We've had a few tough months, but our community is strong and resilient, and we've proven that. It's been an honor to work alongside Ikaika Marzo, Gilbert Aguinaldo, and others to start Pu'uhonua o Puna in response to the May lava flow. We didn't wait for government. Growing up, we were taught it was our kuleana to take care of each other in our community, and that is what we did. Our work to empower, our vision for a brighter future, this is something that our campaign has been recognized for, which is why I am so humbled that as a first-time candidate challenging an incumbent, I've been endorsed by the ILWU, Operating Engineers, SHOPO, UPW, Hawaii Firefighters, HLTA, Japanese Chamber, and Hawaii Island Contractors. These group and their members are the backbone of our community and this party. Mahalo for believing that together we can revitalize Puna and our island, uplift our people with vision and vitality. Tomorrow, this race, along with many others, will be decided. Only 4,167 people showed up to vote in the 2016 primary election for Council District 4. Democracy works if we show up. I implore you to show up. Show up to vote, get your friends out to vote, vote for effective leadership, vote for building community. Vote Ashley Kirkwitz.
Ashley Korkowitz. Now from County Council District 4, Eileen O'Hara.
Aloha. This is a very inspiring event and an inspiring evening, and it's great to be here. I'm proud to be in the same room with so many beautiful people who hold the shared values. I stood here 2 years ago and on the eve of the election where I was elected the representative for District 4 on the County Council. It was a very humbling experience, and I have been privileged to serve on a county council that is the most effective and harmonious that I've ever seen in the nearly 40 years that I have lived in Lower Puna. And I want to thank our chair, Valerie Poindexter, for the great leadership that she has provided our county council. I also want to thank my family and my supporters. This has been an unusual campaign season. it has been punctuated by an event that started May 3, which was the lava eruption. So with that eruption, the District of Puna has changed dramatically. And my heart goes out to all of the families and residents who lost their homes, their livelihoods, their farms, and we need to work together to rebuild a Puna that is better than even before. And as an economist, and with my experience in government, and my relationships with our representatives, working closely with Joy and Russell, our state rep and our state senator, I have gotten the council to pass a request for a special session, and we've been working on a plan to rebuild Puna and make it the greatest place on the planet. So I ask for your support. If you haven't voted yet, the polls are open tomorrow, and thank you. Mahalo for being here.
Eileen O'Hara. All right, ladies, I'm moving to County Council District 5. I'd like to call to the podium Rick Wyrick.
All right, well, thank you for having us up here tonight. I just got off the street. We've been sign waving all day. At least it's been about 6 hours now, so I just arrived. So I wanted to start with the sign waving technique. First of all, this is our new sign, so we're out here waving. We've got thousands of cars go by today, all thumbs up, ready to go for the big day tomorrow. So everybody, the next one. So let's rock the vote. Let's rock the vote. Let's do something. This is a campaign for the people. This is a campaign for the people. What we're running in Upper Puna is a campaign for the people. It's basically back to the ABCs. Back to the ABCs. A, agriculture, is to take agriculture on this island and make it #1 again. So we are producing our own food here on the island. Right now, we are dependent on those containers coming in. About 85% of our food comes in off of those containers. We have about a 3-day supply. If that stops, we go hungry. So start to grow our own agriculture. Second, B, budget cuts. The budget cuts right now. The county council and to the mayor gave themselves a pay raise at the beginning of the year that raised our pay from $52,000 to $70,000. I'm the only candidate who is taking a 50% salary reduction voluntarily to give back to the people. And third, cannabis. Lift the prohibition on cannabis. Lifting the prohibition on cannabis will allow us to move forward with opening up all hemp production. It is a multi-million-dollar business for British Columbia, just nutritional hemp seed. We can bring back an economy to Hawaii through agriculture and through working with our communities to bring that agriculture back. Vote Wyrick tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Wyrick. And our final candidate from County Council District 5, Matt Kaniali Kleinfelder.
Aloha, everyone. Let me adjust this and get ready. Maya, my daughter, is going to join me. Thank you, Maya. She's going to keep me grounded. Thank you. Happy Friday. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the Democratic Party for putting this on and making this happen and for getting everybody down here. And thank you for giving up a part of your Friday evening because it is Friday. And I know we all like to have a little bit of fun on Friday, so I'll keep this short and sweet. My name is Matt. This is my daughter, Maya. She's been the voice of my campaign, and she's been absolutely wonderful. And she does work for Chicken Katsu and Musubis, and you can't beat that. but she is here to remind me why I'm here and why we're all here. We're here for our children. We're here for our future. They're our drive, and they need to be heard. And you've heard her on the radio, and she has this very sweet voice. You got to listen to that voice. Their voice truly does matter. I'm excited to have the opportunity to run for County Council in District 5. We've been through so much in a short time, but we are strong. And we've seen that by how unified we are during times of disaster. And it's amazing. We're all here for the same reason. We love this island. People come from all over the world to see this island. And we live here, and we are this island. Puna is a part of this island. Tomorrow is August 11th. I'm absolutely humbled by the support I've been shown by this district and everyone else I've met along the way. If I've campaigned right, you already know. My name is still Matt Connie E. Kleinfelder, and I'm running for County Council District 5. It's the first name and the longest name on the ballot. So tell your friends, tell your uncle, call your sister, ask your tutu, get out and vote. Mahalo, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Kaneali Kleinfelder. How's about a big hand for all of our county council candidates? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close, but don't go away because we have a great program for you and you don't want to miss out. At this time, we'd like to call up another special guest speaker. How's about putting your hands together for a grand hilo welcome for Senator Kai Kahele.
My Democratic brothers and sisters, aloha! You know, I come before you tonight not as Hilo Senator, but as a proud Democrat. A Democrat immersed in the party, its history, its traditions, its values for the last 42 years. Tonight, this now 64-year tradition of gathering statewide Democrats in unity under this very roof began because individuals just like you and me, who had no rights, stood up on the plantations and the docks, and when faced with tremendous opposition, said enough is enough. Enough working for 27 cents an hour, enough working 16 hours a day and 7 days a week, enough with our children working in the fields, and enough with every aspect of our life being controlled by the Big Five and the plantations. The 1954 social and economic revolution paved the way for equality, dignity, fairness, and would transform Hawaii to a modern, progressive, democratic society. So let us never forget those visionary leaders like Harry Kamoku, Jack Hall, Patsy Mink, Jack Kawano, and John Burns. And since then, under the leadership of Democrats, Hawaii has led the way in prepaid health care, renewable energy, clean air and water, gender equality, reproductive rights, and climate change. But so much more needs to be done. And at a time when Washington is broken, Hawaii, our ideas and bold progressive vision and leadership can be the beacon for the nation. But as our country is changing, our party is also changing. Many are questioning what it truly means to be a Democrat. And as every day gets harder for Hawaii's working families, there are those that want to divide us along ideological lines. Progressives, liberals, centrists, blue dogs, socialists. And although it is a conversation we need to have, we also need to remember that we are all Democrats first. If there is any time we need to stand together and fight for what we believe in. It is right now. Why? Because I truly believe that there is more that we agree on than what we disagree on. Eliminating poverty, universal preschool, criminal justice reform, debt-free college, a $15 minimum wage, rebuilding our infrastructure, truly affordable housing, health care for all, and a good paying job for every American in this country if you are willing to work for it and if you want it, fueled by the economic engine of America, and that's our small businesses. So after this rally is done, when the tents and the banners are taken down and the lights are turned off and we all go back home to our families, let's not forget about the homeless and the drug addicts that will come back under this very roof when we leave tonight. Or the working mother and father who wait right there at 3 o'clock in the morning for the 3:15 bus to sit on a bus for 4 hours and commute to the west side because that's where the jobs are. Or the child that goes hungry, or the kupuna who sits at home alone and they can't get their medication, because that's who Democrats fight for. The poor, the vulnerable, the single mother, the immigrant, the homeless, the elderly, and those without a voice. It's that fundamental belief that we are all in this together, that we may not agree on everything, but that we are always stronger together. And when we lift each other up, we lift our communities up. And when we stand together, there is nothing that can stop us. As United Democrats, if we can do that, I promise you, we are going to build the Hawaii that we have always dreamed about, but have never been able to achieve. And through the greatest gift Hawaii has to offer, aloha, we are going to help march this country forward to a better and a brighter day. Mahalo nui loa, e ni mua Hawaii.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Kai Kaihele. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close. At this time, I'd like to call back to the podium again our Hawaii County Chairwoman, Margaret Willie.
Okay, now it's time to look to each of you. Everyone has spoken, but your job just begins. You know, right here, you should read our platform. Read, rebuilding the middle class. What the Republicans represent is an hourglass where the largest section is all on the bottom, so none of us have time for civic duty. We all have lives. And how do we do all this? But we've got to take that responsibility. We've got to do that. On our platform, we've got rebuild the middle class and deal with inequities. We've got make the environment and culture a high priority. Make our communities safe and take back our government, which is building more accountability from our legislators, having more connection. So I urge you to sign up or be willing to help on some of this. If we can't pass a $15 minimum wage by 2020, why do all these people have D's after their name? We've got to make people accountable. This is our party. You've got to earn that D, and let's come together and make this world a better place. And lastly, I just want to thank Andy, have everyone give Andy a thanks for what a great job he's done tonight. And Shannon and her team, this is Shannon Matson, made this event happen with the help of Jerry and Andy and Amy Miwa and Michael Jaworski and Phil Barnes. They've done a fantastic job, and I just thank you very much.
Thank you, Margaret. So at this time, can we have all the candidates up on the stage? Can we have all the candidates report to the stage? And I'm going to turn the mic over to our our state party chair, Kelly Lopez.
Aloha, everyone. Please, Democrats, all the Democratic candidates, please come up here on the stage. Everyone, this has been a fabulous evening. I have never attended the Hilo rally and Grand Rally. I'm not sure why I haven't. As a Democrat, this is one of the premier events to demonstrate how we as a party will come together and work hard to make a difference for Hawaii. And as you know, everyone up here represents different issues, different things that might be a priority. But their number one priority, do you know what their number one priority is? You and Hawaii. Okay, first we're going to take the photo. Okay, is everybody up there? We got everyone? Okay, where's the photographers? Okay, go for it, people. Okay. That's it. Hurry up, Opal, because we have a whole bunch of people up here have to get the H26 flight back to Honolulu. Thank you, everybody. With that, we're going to start. Everybody, as you know, here in Hawaii, one of the things we do when we end an event that is meaningful and brings everyone together is to sing Hawaii Aloha. And with that, I'm asking Senator Kai Kahele to help join me. Yes, okay, somebody who's got a singing voice, because they would like me to do this. And I can't hold a note.
I'll sing it with you.
Margaret, as much as I want to do this for you, I don't want to chase everybody away. E Hawaii, e kuhome hanawe, kuuhome, kulahivine, oli no vau ina ponolani e Aloha e haoli e na o pio Hawaii nei oli Mauke aloha. Mauke aloha. Aloha. Hawaii. Mahalo.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So this concludes our program for tonight. We'd like everyone to please be safe, head home safe, and don't forget to vote. Aloha! And if anyone can stay and help clean up, we'd greatly appreciate it. So again, from the Hawaii County Democrats, thank you all so much and good night.
How much time? How much time do I have?
Hey.
Wow, what a night.
Amazing. This is my first one ever, you know.
Is that right?
Yes.
You know,
I don't know why I missed it all this time.
I'm with Keali Lopez, the Hawaii State Democratic Party chair, and
Aloha,
as you heard her on stage, first one, right?
Yeah, and it's amazing because this was an opportunity for Hawaii Democrats to show how it happens. So it started in Hilo, and it's going to end real well throughout the islands. Make sure you vote this Saturday. So this is just the beginning.
Awesome. So, you know, Hilo has always had, you know, you heard what a grand tradition this has always been, right? you know, maybe for the general election, this is something that could actually help bring the Democrats together. I mean, on a statewide level. Thoughts?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. Should we do it in Hilo again, though?
Always. The grand rallies always in Hilo.
Okay, we'll do that one. We'll do one for the general election. And I think the main thing that I heard tonight too is how, and I mentioned it earlier, is everybody is working for the people and for Hawaii, and that's what the Democrats are interested in doing. I think my sense is the people here on Hawaii have a lot of good options, great candidates to vote for. But you know what? Not going to make a difference if people don't actually get out there and vote.
I think as a Democratic Party chair, that's probably one of your biggest challenges, right? Because Hawaii has historically had, a very low voter turnout.
Especially in the primary. And here's what I think people don't remember or know, is you can now, if you're not registered to vote, you can actually register at the polls.
I heard that. It's a same-day walk-in vote. Walk-in registering.
Same-day walk-in registration. So you don't have an excuse that you cannot vote because you never register, because you can register at your polling place. Bring your state ID or your state driver's license.
Hearing all the diverse views of the various candidates, because one thing that's really unique and great about this rally, Kelly, is you had county council candidates, which is again for government, it's the closest form to the general population. Right? It's a closest form. And then we had the state house and state senators, and then we had the
Senate and
federal. Congress, and then the LG and the governor's race. Wow.
Absolutely, Well, that's what Hilo's able to bring. You guys were able to bring everybody. I mean, you brought all the big hitters, and they all are. One of the things that I think is real fantastic too, though, is many of these candidates wouldn't be able to do what they do without all the people who support them. The volunteers who help with whether it's stuffing envelopes, putting together the signs, helping the door-to-door, knocking. The main thing to me for everybody out there is, voting is the most important thing. But the other thing is get out there and help candidates. Get out there and find people who want to run. And in fact, think about running yourself. Stacy, when you going to run again?
I'm happy exactly where I'm at right now. Thank you very much. But Kelly, so as the new state chair, you come in, any kind of immediate goals that you saw you had to do to kind of, put your fingerprints or put your imprint on the Democratic Party?
I think one of the hardest things is going to be, hardest and should be easy too, is what we saw today is that people have different thoughts about how we need to make Hawaii a better place. And hopefully we can at least agree on the one thing is that we all love and want Hawaii to be a better place, and not so much get involved or arguing or being, as I like to say, don't like to say, is when people are pilau with each other. Let's treat each other with respect and let's just pull together. There's so much work to be done. We can't afford to fight within our party, and that's the thing I want to address.
Well, so I know
the fighting within the party.
So nationally, right? We had last election we had the Sanders group and we had the Hillary Clinton. So you had a different, which is good. Again, Maisie said it earlier tonight. One thing about the Democratic Party, it's a big tent.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So again, so you saw that, and you think that's one of the most important things is try to bring unity back to your party?
Absolutely. And it's also because we want everybody. It's not that, for one group to prevail is for the other one to leave. We need everybody. So getting everyone together and pulling together and making it happen, it's going to be a difficult task, but I think a big part of that is getting back to our roots. It's treating each other with aloha, remembering why we're here.
I think Senator Kahele did an excellent job.
He was a good closer.
Yes, he was a great closer tonight. If you listen real well to his speech about making sure that the Democratic Party do not forget the people that make up the Democratic Party. He made sure that he pointed to the homeless. He pointed to the people with addictions and so forth. Again, it was a very, very touching speech, embracing the values of the Democratic Party.
Absolutely, and I think what especially he pointed out is, the Democratic Party is a political party that works to get people elected. Once they're elected, though, they serve everybody. And that was Senator Kahele's point. We serve the elected serve people who don't even vote. Elected serve people who are new to Hawaii, whether it's the immigrant population, the homeless. They serve everyone. They don't only serve people who vote, and they don't only serve people in their district. Yeah, no. like I said, he was a great closer, and that was just a wonderful message, really, to end the evening on.
Absolutely. You know, for me, I was very, I was able to sit back and really watch and listen to the various speakers around. And we had, boy, you want to talk about the gamut. We had a full range of speakers here tonight. And again, I think it shows the diversity. Yeah, absolutely, the diversity. But yet, all important is you know, how everybody was made to feel inclusive.
Exactly.
You know,
it warmed my heart to see how inclusive we were. You know, the people we were willing to embrace. I mean, we embrace everyone. And the fact that people have an interest in serving is the important part. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the big things is primary. You guys have a unity breakfast happens right after that? Is that what happens?
Yes. So Sunday morning we have a unity breakfast in Honolulu, but then we're also going to go to a unity event that evening on Kauai, and then Hawaiʻi Island.
Nice.
We have a unity breakfast Monday morning, and then after that we wrap up the whole thing on Maui.
Wow, that's nice. So again,
so four unity events, just one right after the other.
As the speaker said earlier, or some of the dignitaries, I think Maisie and Senator Schatz was saying the same thing, that after, you know, we fight hard, Democrats fight hard.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, they unify and then they, you know, become one again.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's a good reason they fight hard. You know, they fight hard because they feel they have the vision and the ability to serve the people. And I think that's a wonderful thing to see, that people have that kind of desire, because it's not easy to run, and it definitely is not easy to serve.
So let me ask you this personal question. What made you want to run for Democratic Party chair?
You know, that's a good question. I actually, that's a really long answer.
Well, we got about 3.5 minutes.
Well, it's probably what it is for everybody who lives here. I mean, it's all about Hawaii being my home. It's all about seeing how Hawaii it's changing, and it always is, but it's starting to feel like I could be living anywhere else in the United States. Big Island, you know, you guys don't have to worry yet, but you know, on Oahu and in other pockets, you know, it's feeling like we don't live in Hawaii, and I know that for us, it's reconnecting, and that's why I talked about that tonight. It's reconnecting with our roots, reconnecting with one another, and it's having aloha for one another, and having that be part of everything we do, because so often people get entrenched with their issues, and they want to fight, and that's okay. But the thing at the end of the day is we got to be able to sit down and talk to one another, and at least have respect for one another.
Absolutely, because you know, you hit a very, very important point, that every island or every community is different. You know, and again, that has always a little bit been the knock, right? I mean, everybody has always sort of said, and true, not true, but it's been talked about and bandied about, Honolulu-centric. So again, what you're saying is so very true, that we cannot forget, even though majority of the population is on Oahu, we have to make sure that the Oahu people understand what our way of life for the neighbor islands are. You know, what Hilo values are like, what Kona values are like, what Maui values are like, what Kauai values are like.
And we should all care. We should all care, because in the end, again, I just cannot say it enough. We are all connected in a way from many, many, many eons ago that we just don't even recognize anymore. And my hope is that we recapture it.
So, when you become state chair, is it like, do you bring your own people in? How does that work? So real quickly for the people.
Okay, so I got elected at the Waikoloa convention with the state delegates, and after that there's a state central committee, and they all elected the officers. So I didn't necessarily bring my own people in, but they all are Democrats, and that's the main thing.
Does the Democratic Party have staff?
We have a staff of one. We have an executive director, finally. It's been a while. We have an executive director in Honolulu. Her name's Laura Nevitt.
Oh, and a lot of volunteers.
Lots of volunteers, like here. You know, this rally couldn't have happened without the volunteers. So the Democratic Party is all about the grassroots. It's all about volunteers that make it happen. I thought the Margaret Willie and Shannon Matson did a bang-up job with this evening's event.
Oh, that's awesome. Because again, yes, I know you guys have acknowledged them. You have a wonderful Democratic Party group here. They worked with us to help make this happen. You know, again, I cannot tell you how I embrace the fact that the Democratic Party of Hawaii County wanted to underwrite and sponsor tonight's event. And
yes, because they wanted to make sure voters could get this information.
And again, for us, for NLL TV, you know, we're our public educational on government television. Again, we do not endorse any political parties or candidates. Tonight is all about, again, the underwritten and sponsorship of the Hawaii Democratic Party. And I cannot thank you, Kelly, for allowing it to happen, because again, without the Democratic Party support on the state level, the Hawaii County would not have been able to do this.
And the county, like everywhere else, the county can't do it without help with organizations like yours as well. I know it's an underwriting, but you still are doing a good bit of the work, and I know we don't 100% cover the cost, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Olelo Community Media for also being a partner with this. From Hilo, aloha.
Aloha.
This program is brought to you in part by the Hawaii County Democrats.
The preceding program was a production of Naleo TV.